This is my global leadership philosophy PowerPoint slide. So I tied my leadership philosophy into three different categories. The first one being diversity of ideas, and then strong ethical and moral code, and then I finished it off with service to others, and I'll be going into all three of these aspects in just a bit. So the first idea, diversity of ideas, I kind of summarize it as bringing together people from different races, countries, ethnicities to work as a group, which leads to better ideas through diverse backgrounds and ways of thought. So basically, as I said, um, just bringing together people that have different ideas because they came from different backgrounds and being able to share those ideas together really creates a cohesive group and allows these different ideas and thoughts to be created that might not have been there if we didn't have this diverse group around. And I know throughout all the chapters, there was a lot of different talks about a lot of the chapters. They all brought up diversity and how this plays into leadership. And I never really realized this before this class, but I thought it was really interesting how much diversity is talked about in leadership, and I thought this was important to bring into my personal leadership philosophy. So the relational leadership model kind of ties in to this diversity of ideas. Um, so for the middle purpose, the single purpose brings a diverse team together, kind of brings everyone in to fight for the one goal, and then um, empowers the group to be inclusive of each other because there can be um, problems that arise with people from different backgrounds and cultures not sharing the same ideas or beliefs. There's sometimes going to be a little bit of um, negative feedback with that, but empowering each other to be inclusive of each other and each other's ideas will bring that um, positive outcome that diversity allows. And then working together through stated ethical standards. I'm going to talk about ethics a little bit later. Um, but yeah. So my next point was ethics. So in one of my interviews, I interviewed Justin Bissell. He's a financial analyst. I interned under him for a few months. He gave me this really nice analogy about football players, and when they're not on the field, they stand behind the line that marks the out of bounds and inbounds, and they have to stay on the one side of that line. And he related this to ethics in business, where employees are the football players and the leaders are the coaches that have to make sure that their players stay behind the lines or else they'll get in trouble. Just like in a business, if you don't follow the ethical standards that are set by your business, which would be you stepping over that line, you crossing that ethical line, then you can get in trouble and reprimanded. Um, and it's really important to keep this in mind because sometimes that line can be forgotten if you're distracted or you're trying to go for the profit margin or make a certain quota for your company. It's really important to keep in mind those ethical principles. And then my final point was service to others. I was able to go to a conference put on by the Center for Leadership and Civic Engagement a few weeks ago. It was with J-Bill and their company. And it was really interesting to see how they offered pro bono services for people and volunteer events that they organized through their teams at work, where they would work together with these different groups and they would still get their work done, but they'd also volunteer. And I thought that was really awesome and a great leadership. Um, a great way to look at leadership is helping out others in your community when you can and not just focusing on your business and the profits. they can make. And then Holy Cow Ice Cream was one of the businesses that I interviewed. I know Mel, the owner. She's really hard worker, has a really successful small business, but she also works at a nonprofit that she started. And she's able to juggle both of these, and she wouldn't have it any other way. And I think that's definitely what I want in my leadership model and my leadership philosophy is that selflessness and that leadership um, towards others that maybe aren't even in my business. Thank you very much.